Hello, hello. In this lesson, I would like to show you a lead guitar technique that you do not need much technique for. You don't have to shred. You don't even have to bend strings. And this is something that was really popularized in the 1990s, yet I remember Steve Stevens of Billy Idol and The Edge of U2 doing this in the 80s. Even the Beatles did this in the 60s. So basically, if we take an open string and we let it drone, and then we just play either a major scale or a minor scale or even a pentatonic or blues scale on an adjacent string, neighboring string. So let's take the E string. Say I'm going to play E minor. So I'm going to play an E minor scale on the B string while I drone the high E. Okay. Now my first note on the B string is not E. It's going to be B. So it's starting on the fifth, but I'm going to play all the way up the neck, doing an E minor scale. There's the root note. This time I'll stop on the root on the way back, right? But I still have a few more notes, okay? And this is great too because you get to know, it forces you to know the notes in a scale. And you know, when you play them horizontally, you almost have to depend on your ear a little bit more because you can't fall into finger patterns, and you just gotta really know what the next note's gonna sound like. All right, so in this first example, we're gonna drone the high E string, I'm gonna play on the B, and I'm gonna play with a jam track in E minor. So on that example, I just droned the high E string and I played E Aeolian. I hinted at E blues and pentatonic a couple of times, but basically just playing an E natural minor as we drone the high E string. Now how does this work? Now basically, as long as you have a note droning that's in the key, you should be good. Now if you want to make sure you're good, what I would recommend is find an open string that is one of the notes of the one chord, the one triad of the key. So like if we're in E minor, the notes would be E, G, and B of an E minor chord, droning any one of those strings. And actually, wow, look at this. I've got an E string, a B string, and a G string. So if I wanted to, I could have droned the B string or the G string, right? So let's say I wanted to have the B string droning, right? Then I could play my E minor scale on the G string. Right? Or I could even drone the G string, right? Because that's a note. So I could play on the D if I wanted to and go, right? There's my root. It's lower. It sounds cool, right? E minor. Now in this next example, I'm going to play an E major, all right? And I'm going to drone the high E string again, but I could drone the B string if I wanted to. Couldn't drone the G string, but if you wanted to, you could actually tune your G up to G sharp because there is a G sharp in an E major chord, depending, you know, if you're in the studio, you wanted to do something like that. But yeah, you know, in real life, I would probably just drone the E or the B string first. So here we go, we're going to do an E major example. So there I was playing an E major scale on the B string, right? So if I were to just drone the E like I did and I play my E on the B string, E major. So there's your root. Next octave, got a couple more notes. All right, and a few more down here, okay? And just getting to know your notes on one string is super helpful for knowing the neck too. All right, in this next example, I'm gonna play in F sharp minor. Now, the note E is the flat 7 of an F sharp minor 7 chord, all right? So It is a chord tone, but it's not a triad. And if I analyze it against A major, its relative major, then E would be the fifth, all right? And in this example, I'm also gonna show you how you can drone the B, okay? The B, if I analyze that against F sharp minor, it would be the fourth, so it's a scale tone, not a chord tone. All right, if I analyze it against A, its relative major, it would be the second. So again, not a chord tone, but a scale tone, but yeah, totally legal. All right, so I'm gonna drone both of those notes in this next solo. Now, I can drone both. So as you can see, the options here are almost endless. If you have a note of the chord droning or even a note of the key, there's so much you can do with this. You can drone higher strings, lower strings, you can bend them a little bit. You saw I was bending half steps occasionally, but it doesn't take a lot of technique to do this. Forces us to use our ear, and you're learning your scales horizontally, which is a great thing also. We don't always need to shred, right? There's some times where what's called for is a more melodic solo or just something more simple but visceral. This is a great style and something that you can really use for your benefit and for your overall musicality. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and I'm already looking forward to being back with you next time.